All right. So in our last video, we talked about the definition of a lead and what does a lead mean to a CEO level versus sales team level, and so I wanted to start this video by asking you to recap that definition.
Are we going to go through this again, Joe?
We have to. We have to.
Sure. A lead is when a targeted decision maker responds to some portion of your campaign.
Sure.
That is a lead. But the operative word is decision maker responding to your campaign.
Yeah. And so the lead is defined differently by so many different positions within a company.
A marketing qualified lead, a sales qualified lead, right? Or an impression. So sure.
And as the marketing,
good question.
Sure. And as the marketing side, representing the marketing side of the sales and marketing team, and I know it's really easy to say, a hit to the website is a lead, or to default to the other end of that spectrum and to say, they filled out the contact form on the website, and before the contact form reached my email, they were knocking on my door with a check or credit card in my hand, ready to make a payment. Those two ends of the spectrum of the qualification of a lead are so extreme, but I see it every day in expectations within companies and with sales teams that we work with. So I like to defer to sales to qualify the lead, because sales closes the deal.
Sure.
And from marketing's
Yes.
perspective, we need you to have good qualified leads and understand, you're defining that lead.
Right.
And so we're meeting that objective.
And we want to eliminate the finger pointing, right? We want to have one definition of a lead, and we want that lead to go to a sale.
Yeah.
Right. So the best thing that a marketing organization can do for a salesperson is to give them a lead, right? And a lead is a decision maker that responds to some portion of your campaign that the salesperson can reach out to in any way that they can to engage a sales process and go about closing the sale.
Sure.
Right.
So in this video, we want to talk about, and break down the question, is your marketing team actually providing you with leads? And are they good quality leads? And do they meet our definition of a lead?
Sure.
And so from marketing's perspective, we're reaching out to your target audience. We're running an outbound campaign. We're running an inbound campaign. The inbound campaign is, we want to get in front of that target persona when they're Googling, when they're in their social platform. It's a very targeted message, as opposed to traditional marketing. Digital marketing itself today is so targeted, and I want to get that point out there too. Is that
it's a great point?
We it's shifted from, we put a billboard up and we spend a ton of money and we get everyone and their brother seeing this message on the billboard. Where in B2B tech and manufacturing marketing, very specifically, we're going after one person. You put the billboard on the highway and the thousands of people who see it, most of them aren't your target persona.
That's right.
And in digital marketing today, we have that capacity to get in front of that one person and very, very wisely spend that marketing budget so that the right message is in front of the right person. So as the marketing entity, we're saying, if we can do that and get them to come to your website, that's a lead.
It's a great lead. Again, I like the way you use two spectrums, right? One would be, did they just hit your website? And the second one would be, have they came all the way through and written a check to buy?
Yeah.
So those are two good examples, but they could be terrible examples, because if the wrong person hits the website and fills out a contact form and engages the sales team, and it's not a decision maker, now you've spent a lot of time and money on a false idea that you can close this sale, and you're 18 months into working with someone that doesn't have the authority to buy. And that's a tragedy.
Yes.
So the reality is that we want to make sure that we're targeting and getting the real decision maker into your process.
Yeah.
So I would rather have a website hit from a real decision maker than someone else going through the whole process, filling out a form, meeting with your sales team, if that person is not a decision maker. So it sounds ridiculous for us to take it down to this nit level, but it really is important to make sure that are you getting enough leads for the dollars and the time that your marketing team is spending.
Well, and the other question becomes like, how do we measure the leads? So, I've seen different marketing teams coming to the reporting meeting. At the end of the month, we want to report. We want to say what a great job we did providing leads. And again, I've seen both sides of the spectrum there as well. I see teams coming and saying, we've gotten you 50,000 hits on your website this month. Or we've seen an increase in traffic of 178% this month. What does that mean? Does that mean I just got you 178% increase of leads? No. Because we don't know who those, maybe the 178 people were, in a different country or just not your target persona, not your target audience.
Can I tell you a funny one? It'll take 1 minute. When I had an organization help me promote my speaking, and we were promoting sales speaker, a sales speaker, and we got a lot of leads for that, for speakers, home speakers on sale, right? It didn't get me any engagements, but it got me a lot of hits.
A lot of speakers.
Yeah, a lot of speakers, right?
Yeah.
So there's a scenario of the difference between what is a lead and what isn't.
Yeah. So when we're saying, it's sales job to follow up on every time someone hit our website or touched our marketing, there's a caveat to that, because it's not everyone. We still need to follow them and maybe track them with a marketing automation tool where we see, this person visited this page, they went to our call to action, or they went to another page that pertains to this page. There are ways to measure that traffic so that we're a little bit more precise about who we're following up with.
Sure.
And understanding we're not spinning our wheels trying to chase just a dead end lead.
If you took a step back and you had this thought process and you said, or an owner of a company or an executive that makes the decisions on marketing, look at the marketing spend, the resources that you're employing, the trade shows, the events, the networking events, the print ads, all the spend, automation, all that spend, and you simply ask yourself, are you getting enough real leads for that spend? That's a very interesting conversation.
It is.
In most cases, the organization really isn't tracking all of their spend, and they're also thinking a lead is something that it isn't.
That's right.
So really understanding what is a lead and where are you spending your dollars is a really good conversation to have.
So the conversation should be more when there's a reporting meeting, especially, and we're talking to the marketing department, we're talking to the sales department. Are we meeting our business goals?
Yeah.
That's the conversation. It's not the conversation about traffic and hits and clicks and that sort of thing. It's are we meeting our business goals? Is our bottom line increasing? Or have we set a goal for, we're going to increase our engagements by 200%? That's something we can measure.
Take a step back from there. Think of it this way. Look at your monthly spend on marketing, all in, and then count the number of real leads that you have that month.
Yeah.
And
how many have you closed that month?
Sure. But just let's say the leads piece of it.
Yeah.
How many leads did you get that month for that spend?
That's right.
And I think you can get a true understanding of the waste of so many things that are being done incorrectly, overcosting, and not doing what you need to grow your business. Yeah.
So talk to your marketing people. Create some goals around your business desires. Where do we want the business to go? How do we want to grow? And measure based on those goals rather than hits and clicks. That's always the best way to at least to start to gauge. Is what I'm spending appropriate right now? Is the time investment and dollar investment appropriate for my marketing initiative?
Great. Thank you.